Okay, so when you ask me about no nuanced meaning, I'm saying that's what's unique in an interaction. And that doesn't mean to say that in every interaction that you have with somebody, you're going to talk about a lizard or, anything that extreme. No, it can be something very short and very sort of common, but it's just a different nuance to it. You interact with somebody and they put a spin on something that makes you smile. And that's the beginning of it, because that's something that didn't exist when you walked in before. And a very impoverished version of that is me coming in saying, hello, how are you? Oh, I'm fine, thank you. It's a nice day. Yes, it's very nice. I mean, like the ritual type of interactions that's devoid of any personal, of any level of engagement, really. So this is just to show you that there is depth to this approach, because the idea really is that you have different levels of meaning, and that these levels are not just cognitive, although obviously the cognitive plays a significant role, but there's a very significant awareness of the level of emotional resonance and being with an individual. And it becomes increasing and very important when, with young kids, like, for example, the video you saw, with children who don't necessarily have the ability to express themselves. And we find the same also with AAC users. Okay, so the first level is formalistic, meaning where everything is formalistic. It's the rituals. We're very good at it. It is possible to go through a day's work at school, really never moving beyond formalistic level 1 and 2. The downside of that is you get home incredibly tired because nothing really made sense to you. I mean, there was nothing really that talked to you during the day. So level 2 is literal meaning, as we'll be here now focused. You have exchanges, but the exchanges are basically information sharing mostly. Nothing really anymore in much more depth in terms of personal involvement. Level 3, level 4 start with extended meaning, where you can see there's also a more definite understanding on emotive level, when in fact there's resonance. They look at each other. And then also they're able to take that understanding that they get from the attention and bring it into the interaction, so that the meaning that is developed is actually quite unique and, engaging for both people. And the last, level 4, is versatile meaning, which is a very deep level of meaning that could be reached regardless. It's not easy to, but you can reach that level of interpersonal meaning when even though you don't have a lot of expressive ability. And that is very important, because for me, the basis of looking at the different levels of meaning is to sensitize us to the fact that the ability to not speak or to not express yourself in any, whatever the reason might be, should be an impetus for us to delve into engagement with that individual in order to sort of really get a reliable impression of what that person can do. And this really is what the field of AAC is all about. So you can measure the level of meaning making. I'm not going to go into any level of detail on this. Some of it's in my book. Those of you who are interested are welcome to contact me, but this, I think, is a topic for another day. And there's a scale, a meaning-making scale, where we start looking at how do you really describe participation and engagement in order to plot it on that, to plot it and get some better idea of how we're progressing. But finally, I just want to talk a little bit about what does this add What does a meaning-making approach add to existing intervention efforts? First of all, it's a move away from a focus on strategies. It's not just about strategies. We have to know about strategies. But really what is important is how do we infuse the strategies that we use into the existing sort of experience of meaning-making. The problem with not doing it that way is that we use strategies, we teach skills, we come back, we teach them again. Every time when there's a break, there's no carryover, there's very little sustainability. And I think we really need to understand that if we keep on imposing structures in a teaching way on people, it really does not encourage them to personally get involved and actually use what we're teaching. So meaning-making starts a little bit from a different angle. It starts with personal involvement. And how do I draw that kid in to start sort of showing interest? It's a focus on intersubjective process of meaning-making. Self-other awareness, which we haven't spoken about, is critical. Importance of observation and listening to the other. Being present to the other. There need to be an openness to each other in order to allow for that growth. Like that grandfather did, it wasn't the response that he wanted or that he thought was accurate, but, he was able to take that response from the little one and build on it to expand this experience of togetherness, which is so important for that kid to actually experience, because that is what's going to bring the little granddaughter back to the grandfather, the fact that she had fun with him. And as I said, the importance of the effective dimension. It's not just about cognition.